Earlier in the program, I committed to taking some of the press to task. And to be completely honest with you, I attempted to do that 1 hour and a half ago, 1 hour ago, and then I found myself procrastinating. And I am at a point now where there is no further procrastination. I have to do what I must do. I have to take some of the media to task for the very, very reason that a good man like Vince Sombrado says to me what he says yesterday, that he and people like himself are here because they believe and they trust. And we have a viewing audience of over 100 million people, must be not because it's a vicarious thrill to see somebody go on his face or otherwise. We have some sensational people. We have men and women from all walks of life that have committed and have thoroughly checked this platform. I can't believe the power of these marvelous people just jumping into a situation without checking our veracity. It goes without saying, it's a must. The responsibility of lives and people and families. The Western Union Company has 15,000 workers that have families and children that could all be affected by a wrong move. We're checked out pretty good. And I might add, we do the same. Our responsibilities are equally as tenuous, equally as sensitive. To have to stand here and qualify our conduct and our actions based on doing what we do. So I thought, and I wrote on the page, I've been seriously thinking about doing some work against humanity just to see what some of the press would say of that. They probably wouldn't say anything different. But I want to repeat a couple of things they did say. And now that you have been so close to the love and the warmth and the sensitivity of what's been presented in this program, I will only repeat for those that were not here and let you hear a couple of things you didn't hear in the first place. Jerry's Kids is one of the main themes of the telethon. Lewis assumes symbolic paternity over everyone from the poster girl to middle-aged Bob Sampson. Jerry Lewis didn't choose to call these children his kids. A long time ago, a mother came to me and said, I have one of your kids. And this is one of Jerry's kids. And I'm looking at wheelchairs. And they liked the reference. The child in a wheelchair can identify with either a hero, a leader, a man who stands before as many people as naked as he is and demands to have them hear the truth. If that man is indeed a hero to that child, let that child have a hero. We need heroes. We don't have enough heroes anymore. The last hero that we all clung to was a dear friend of mine, Jack Kennedy. When Jack Kennedy died, we forgot the word hero. If in that child's mind, I or whoever plays this role is a hero, so be it. Don't extract that from that child. That child has had enough extracted. So, poof, you're a hero. Leave the child alone. Adults know that that is a coined phrase, and it's a phrase that's a little uncomfortable. They're not my children. I have 6 healthy children. And because of that, my kids have become a part of my breath and my lifestyle. I care for them. Why am I a criminal? Why is this platform a criminal? What we are doing here is great work. It would have meant that rather than the world at war for only the entire history, time immemorial, we've only been at peace 557 days in the last 17,000 years. Had they had telethons, we'd have had peace, I'm sure. Is that idealistic? Is that old-fashioned, mid-Victorian? Is that stupid? Is that rhetoric? No, that's what I believe. I am an individual with rights and opinions. I think that might very well be the case. And then I read, some of the media will write, All Night with Jerry, pitch with kitsch. According to Webster, kitsch means artistic or literary material of low quality. Another newspaper man writes, a lot of Jerry's kids were, as usual, brought before the cameras in wheelchairs. Many of them were able to keep some dignity, even with Jerry standing there crooning and talking about how many lives the disease claims. I fight for their dignity. I battle for their dignity. I never bend down to the wheelchair. I demand my body to stand upright so that they can pray one day they too will stand upright. You never kneel down to a wheelchair. But this individual doesn't recognize that we don't do that. Indeed, it is hard to put up with him from his maudlin appeals for cash, as though I'm going to get a piece of the action, to the breathless scenes featuring the tote board, to the parading of victims of MD onto the Las Vegas stage, to his teary rendition of You'll Never Walk Alone. Lewis's annual performance, underlined, is enough to make viewers want to heave a shoe through their television screens. Lewis has to resort to melodramatic means to keep people watching. Maybe I'll resort to any means. I did not call this company together and build this structure and demand that we have a full network so that I don't get your attention. Did we do all of this so that we hoped no one would watch? Most of the trouble in our world today is because no one can interpret what the Russian says to the Yugoslavian. How do we know the interpreter is indeed saying what the Russian is saying? So there's an imbalance, and then there's tenuousness, there's uncertainty. It's like the old joke. The lady is in the pool, and the lifeguard says, lady, don't you see that sign? She says, what sign? He says, that sign that says no swimming allowed. She said, that's how you read it. The way I read it, it says, no, swimming allowed. Well, interpretation changes it, doesn't it? So that when the Russian says, tell the Yugoslav, we love him, huh? And he interprets, they love you. Oh, that's terrific. And he walks right into the trap and his legs come off. What must I do? Not be melodramatic? Do I not let you see Mary? Mary was dying. Do I not have to tell you that the money you give us goes into making her better? Is it not our responsibility to tell you the report that we got from the scientific community that we are on the threshold of a cure, that all of these Labor Days were not in vain? Do I not say that? Then we are guilty and we're remiss of disclosure. We pride ourselves in the dignity, the credibility, and the integrity of this organization that is faultless, pure, and clean. What do? Dirty it so that we please that man? Hardly. Lewis will weep and turn his back on the camera as if ashamed of his emotions. No man is proud to shed tears in front of other men. Maybe in front of women, maybe not. But we would like you to think that we can handle the pain and the power of our nerve ends without shedding a tear. I can't. I have always shed a tear at anyone in trouble, myself included. But here's the doozy, folks. It's now catching on. It's sophisticated to attack this platform. On Saturday Night Live, a short time ago, what has a million legs but can't walk? Jerry's kids. Okay? Now, when this happens and my gut turns, my gut doesn't turn for me. They did not attack me. They're attacking children that can't even stand up and say, I beg your pardon. Someone has to defend them. If that's my role, I'm doing that. I don't believe you can be faulted for that, but I will not allow them to attack this platform. Here's Big Mamu. He's made his fortune mimicking crippled children. The telethon is only a sort of furious penance. Well, that's not attacking the platform so much. That's getting after the man now. Did I not go to the cocktail party where this newspaper man was? And if I did, I told him what I thought of him, which I usually do. You're a whore or a prostitute. You don't print the truth. Well, he's going to wait for Labor Day to get a shot at me, isn't he? He did. We closed the press with the following. With all the money that goes in, 60% of it goes to muscular dystrophy and 40% goes to Jerry. All of this information printed here can be validated. We have all of it. How would you like to see a photograph that our director is going to put up on the screen? This is another way the media has to attack the platform. The first photograph appeared just a short time ago. They're attacking the platform by by making this photograph, presumably the head end of a story that isn't really of any consequence, and it's almost difficult to understand. Arthur, do you have that photograph? There's a wonderful photograph that depicts the man doing what he does on Labor Day. Wouldn't I love to tell you that doesn't bother me? Oh, yes, it does. It really does. When you see the next photograph, you may recognize why I had to challenge them once and for all. For the words, for the photograph, and for this next photograph, which I think is absolutely the epitome. And that, my friends, is what we live with. Those are our medals from some of the media. A certain broadcaster the other night was talking about a fundraising agency in trouble. And they said, we are beginning to purport the information to you relative to some unsavory, shady stuff coming down. And by the way, Sunday, the Muscular Dystrophy Telethon is on, which does good work, but now let's tell you about this one that don't. That's a little subliminal, and that's a little cutesy pie. We're getting back to no swimming allowed again. Okay. Is it important to bring all of this attention to many of you that have never even seen it, heard it, or looked at any of that? Yes, it's important. Because I have to walk upstairs tonight, I'm alone, and I need to find that esteem that I believe I have finally gained in my age. I cannot allow this to go unchecked. The next newspaper man may just now think a little bit. Consider the Jack Gannons and the firefighters who are standing next to this fraud, and Western Union, and 7-Up, and Sara Lee, the Southland Corporation, ERA, and I can go on and on and on. These beautiful human beings who have checked us out to stand... Would you ever hear the expression? Show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. These people wouldn't align themselves to this platform unless we were exactly what we maintain. We care, we love, and we work to make better for mankind. That's good work. The next newspaper man may just think better of it because the letter from the mother says it all. How does a mother say thank you, Jerry? A thank you from the mother of a dystrophic child seems so inadequate and cold, and yet, for lack of better words, I must humbly say thanks again for all you have meant to us as a family. The emotional strength you provide gives us the courage to go on towards the light at the end of the tunnel. Equally important is the financial assistance we've received from MDA. It will never be taken lightly. We pray God takes good care of you and your organization. Let the press do something with that. 30.